Where is My Mind by the Pixies. Now this song, really cool bar chord study, and it's also got a really nice introduction which is going to sound like this. And that's the intro. But before we go any further, let's zoom out, have a look at the guitar, and get your PDF file ready. As we mentioned, it's got some pretty cool bar chords. The bar chords are on the PDF that I've sent along with you as well. If you're watching my channel and new to it and you'd like a copy of the PDF, please send me a WhatsApp or just send me a message via the channel. I'll be happy to send it to you. And starting off with the clear chord, normal E chord, we're all familiar with that. My fingers are numbered to make it easy. We're going to go from an E, and that's the basic rhythm which you're looking to now as well. And we go from the E to a C sharp minor bar chord. Now this chord is at fret number 4. Your first finger is flat across all 6 strings. You can see from the angle, fingers nice and flat. Bad technique, that one there. Good technique, that one there. Okay, so bend the wrist. Fingers 2, 3, and 4. Middle finger number 2 is on the 2nd string, 3 and 4 in the 6th fret, strings 4 and 3 accordingly, and the rhythm's going to go. Now the next chord, the transition from the C sharp minor to the G sharp, really easy. All that happens is, watch this carefully, fingers 2, 3, and 4 simply moved up a string. So C sharp minor, G sharp major, simply referred to as G sharp. Same rhythm pattern. And the chord after that, the A, we simply move this G sharp 1 fret towards the body of the guitar, so your first finger is now at fret 5, and we build up the rhythm a bit. You sort of get a bit more active. You can hear on the original, if you go to the YouTube channel, listen to the original song, you can hear them build it up like that. So if you're putting all the chords together, it could sound something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you might have noticed that the second time I played the E, I didn't play it like this. I played it like that. Now both versions are quite acceptable. In fact, the one I'm showing you now might make more sense, because if I do this and I slide across to my C sharp minor, you simply got those fingers sliding across the fretboard, going down a string while your first finger goes into position. There's my C sharp minor, G sharp, A, and when I need to go back to the E, I simply just slide it down. Okay, that's pretty much what happens through most of the song. There is a change in the chorus, but before we get to the chorus, I want to break away now, and we're going to do the part that sounds like this in the beginning. And you'll notice that when I played it earlier at the beginning of the video, it didn't sound like this, but it sounded something like this. And that sound you're hearing now is an overdrive or a distortion sound. It gives you that sort of that heavy, grungy sound, which is what you need for the song. But if you don't have it, it sounds pretty cool without overdrive or pedals, or on an acoustic as well. But let's see what the picking hand's doing and look at the rhythm patterns. Let's get going at that. Now you can use a pick if you want to. I was using my fingers, but if you use a pick, you can do this. And what I'd like us to observe there is the alternating strokes. In other words, I pick down, up, down, up. If I decide not to use a pick, I can use my fingers, and finger, thumb, and first finger work really well together. Watch this, thumb, first finger. And I'm actually resting my fingers 2, 3, and 4, my middle finger to the pinky, on the guitar's body to help give me some sort of positioning, some sort of central place to position my hand. And it works out really, really well. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the fretting hand and take you through what the fingers are actually doing, what frets we're playing. We're starting with a tab at the top of the PDF. We've got a 5 and a 4. The 5 is on the second string, should sound like this. And the 4 is on the first string, should sound like that. And you're simply going 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. Then you go to 4, 4, which basically what I do is I put my first finger flat across both strings in the 4th fret. You may also use 2 fingers like at 1 and 2. You're more than welcome. Technique is acceptable. I prefer the flat finger. It's going to sound like this. Only twice through that time. And then the last bar, you'll notice there's a 5 and a 0 written at the same time. In other words, they're above each other. They're vertical. So you pluck both strings. So that sounds like the same. Because this string that I'm playing there is the same as the open string at the bottom. It's the same note. They're both E's. And you're going to play it twice, and the second time you'll see there's an extra little 4 sitting in the middle of the 2 5s in that 4th bar, and what you do is you pull off from the 5th fret that I'm tapping now to the 1st fret, so your first finger is in position. I think I said 1st fret, it should be 4th fret, and it should be like this. You pick them both and you flick it over and you get that semi-dissonant sound you can hear underneath. And the dissonance is both those strings ringing together, and that helps create the atmosphere. That pull-off is quite quick, so you're going to go. And the last pull-off goes from the 5 to the 0. And on the picking hand, you can perhaps see now why I prefer using my fingers over here than using my picks. I'm going to do the fingers. It makes it easier to get a nice warm sound when I'm playing those 2 notes together. So my 5 and 0. It works quite nicely to get the technique, but there's nothing wrong with picking it like this. Also going to work quite well. Okay, back to the bar chords to power chords. We're going to learn what the difference is, how they work, and what to do with them. Okay, we're going to take just basically the A bar chord, the one at fret number 5, the last one, because we had to start somewhere, and I didn't want to use the E because that's an open chord. And we're going to explain now the difference between a bar chord and a power chord because it's relevant for the song. A bar chord, your first finger simply replaces your capo. So instead of taking one of these, instead of taking one of those and putting it across the frets like this, instead of doing that, you're going to have your first finger doing the same thing. And then you play what looks like an E shape with the remaining fingers 2, 3, and 4. Okay, if you want a video on the power chord, you will find it somewhere in my YouTube channel. If you need a copy, let me know. But that's a bar chord, and you strum all 6 strings. If you want to convert this to a minor, which you do need later in the song in the chorus, you simply lose the middle finger. Minor, you can hear the difference? Major, minor, and that comes from the E shape. There's your E major and E minor. Stop the fingers, and that's how the bar chords get their functionality. It's how they work. You're looking at E shapes with the first finger acting like a capo. Okay, now if you go to a power chord, you're only strumming the top 3 strings. So if you're looking at the strumming hand now, for a bar chord, I'll be strumming everything. For a power chord, only the top 2 or maybe 3 strings. Simple as that. That's a power chord, which means that for bar chords to power chords, we don't need this finger anymore, and we also don't need to flatten the first finger. So you can actually make your power chords much more playable. I like playing mine like this. Lots of guitarists like playing it like that, and some even like playing it like that because you're only playing 2 or 3 strings. So this is your power chord. And the cool thing with the power chords as well is if you're playing more of a hard rock sort of vibe, you can actually play your overdrive. You can hear the overdrive in the background. When it's slightly more intense, for example, get your inner Iron Maiden out. That's where your power chords come in handy. Now, they actually do use this inside the song. You listen carefully, you'll hear in the background there's a guitar that goes like this. Okay, a little bit too loud there. There we go, and we're going to have E, C sharp minor, C sharp minor. And you can actually hear that happening in the background. I'm just going to get a front view so you can see that the chords changing a bit better. Okay, for the E power chord, I'm just basically converting my E to one finger flat across strings 5 and 4 and strumming strings 6, 5 and 4. There's my C sharp minor, 4th fret, 6th fret. When I go to G sharp, 1 up, and when I go to the A, 1 forward. So it works out quite nice. And that's your basic power chords. If you need a more in-depth explanation on the power chords, let me know, and I'll give you a study link for that as well. Okay, now onto the chorus part of the song. This has got some pretty cool clear chords and a few variations as well. The cool thing with the chorus, the chords start the same as for the verse. In other words, you're going to go E, C sharp minor, G sharp A, same as that. But on the third line on the PD film, notice it starts E, 2, 3, 4, and it builds up there. Now what actually happens on the third time round? It goes from the E, there's my E, and it skips the C sharp minor going straight to the G sharp. So it's E, G sharp, then to A minor. Remember we mentioned the difference in the major and minor shapes earlier in the video. And from the A minor goes to C sharp minor, and on the PDF you'll see in red it says stop. So you're going to go play it with the last line like this, 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the B I'm playing over here. Now I'm going to show you up front what the B looks like here now. Or you can play it over here by fret number 7. I like keeping it down here because it's just closer to the open fret, which means I can go back to E a lot closer. But let's zoom in a bit closer onto my fretting hand. And here is the way I like playing my B. Now the correct bar chord fashion for B is finger 1 flat across the 2nd fret, and fingers 2, 3, 4 in the 4th fret going through strings 4, 3, 2. But my fat little fingers don't like doing that, so I cheat. I put my pinky down and it works just as well. Get the fingers out the way. You can do your B like that. If you don't like the B down there, you can go from that C sharp minor before it goes to the stop up to B, which looks like the A. There's my A at fret 5, A sharp, B at fret 7. So you can use this as well, and you can hear same type of chord, same chord, just a different voicing. In other words, a different way to play the same chord. Okay, so what we've covered is your intro. You've gone through this. You've gone through your bar chords. Gone through your sequences. You've learned a bit of difference about the major and minor chords. You've looked at some power chords, and you've got your basic rhythm. So you've got all the tools you need to play Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a shout. I'll be more than happy to answer you. And this is quite a cool song if you want to jam with your friend and you're on acoustic, for example, and he's an electric. It's a nice song for combining these two guitars together. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Take care.